All right, gang. We've got some good news and we've got some bad news for you. The good news. We found more interviews with the kid. So, right here, pretty good stuff. This is still probably the best with Doug Poppa. But yeah, we learned a lot more stuff in these interviews. So hopefully it'll help you guys out. And that way we can kind of go through who's paying attention and who isn't. Because in this guy's latest video, I mean, he's saying these things got cow heads now, and just like, come on, man. Like, listen to the interviews and try and get the right information out there. But the bad news, a little bit of good news still. Here's another thing, but the bad news. I'm not going to click on this because it's TikTok, and TikTok is CCP trash. But the bad news is in his last video or post on here, he's saying that he's forgetting about everything, or he doesn't want to talk about anything, and wants us all to forget about it. Because I guess a lot of people are, harassing him or annoying him, or not giving him his privacy, and yeah, that sucks because he didn't do a part two yet on here where there's possibly going to be a sketch of what these things look like and some more information, some more video possibly, and some more pictures possibly. So, yeah, we got to hope that this kid does come back. Hopefully he just needs a little bit of time away from it. We'll see. But, yeah. So, now that you know that, make sure you either screenshot these or pause the video. Are they really here? Go check them out. His format's kind of, a little bit with the semantics. Not really my thing, but to each their own. But yeah, he interviews, takes questions from people. Some of the questions, kind of, not the best, but some of them, point out or he asks some pretty good stuff and points out some stuff. This one definitely got a lot of good stuff in the interviews. This one has some interesting stuff. I'm drawing a blank though. Oh yeah, he's got some footage of it, but I think it's just a repeat of this stuff. And then the kid's channel that he has, which again, this is kind of like, if you're trying to be serious about this, it is what it is. But it's each their own. Just not my preference. But yeah. So now that you know that, here's some of the things I went over that I thought might stand out to you and make you raise an eyebrow. Hopefully, it helps you out. So the whole point of this is to be better informed. So that way, if something else does come out further down the line, whether video or interview or commentary, or footage or whatever have it be, whatever, or if it's other people that are putting out garbage or weird stuff or things that aren't making sense or they just seem like they're doing it for money, you're going to be better informed. Then you can link back to these sources and we can cut that bullshit out, put an end to that, put a foot down on it, because it just sucks that everything's getting swamped with people that are just putting garbage out there. So, the more straight from the sources, you can lead back to good information, solid information, so there's less BS. So let's get started. So in the second interview, this one here, at the 4-minute mark, definitely something big. He's saying there's possible alien excrement. I know, exciting, right? But that's pretty big if it is. He's saying that they don't have pets. It's like a fenced off, walled off area, so it wouldn't be the neighbors. It's Nevada. I mean, it could be, Could be animals, could be coyotes, but I mean, you would think with everything, the timing, if it's that night or the day after, whatever, and you have interviewers and journalists like this showing up, that's something you would tell them, but also that's something you would show to the cops, since the cops visited multiple times. The first response, the day or a couple days after, when they had to clarify some things and get the report right or whatever, and then a few days after that or later after that, when they set up the cameras, and then after that, when they took the cameras down. But we'll get back to that too. We'll touch on that some more. Then at the 5-minute mark, around there, saying that the motion capture didn't pick anything up. But in his interview with Doug Poppa, Doug was mentioning that the cameras, I might be wrong on this, I didn't get the time mark for this because I watched this a few days ago. I'll have to get a correct timestamp for it. He was saying that the cameras weren't functioning right, or possibly. I might be getting that wrong. This is why it's important for you to also, if you're digging into this, that you watch everything fresh and all together, and then you can piece everything together as well. But there was some discrepancies between the two things, possibly. So he's saying that the motion capture didn't pick anything up. But then on Doug's thing, he's saying that it was working, and then stopped working, and then it was working, and the circle was there afterwards. And that's another odd thing, is that the news channels that are covering it are saying that the circle's been there for a while. And it's like, well, okay, how do you know that if you're using Google satellite or whatever, map satellite? You know, those images are only refreshed so often. So are you getting access to other people's cameras? Are you getting access to that landlord's camera? What's the story with that? But then that's the other thing. You know, this kid, he's really got beef with the news channels now, because he told them he didn't want his face out there, and they didn't listen and put his face out there, and now he's got people coming up to him in the street, and kids are not happy about it, which is understandable. So, yeah, try to be respectful about this if you do get in contact with the kid or you do reach out to him. Then in the first interview, we got this. Check this out. So in this interview, this one's a lot longer. And unfortunately, the Wi-Fi connection they had between the two is really crummy. So 15 minutes in, we talk about footprints. Now, with the footprints, they talk about it a little bit later on in the video too, or I think around 29-minute mark, somewhere around there. But with the footprints, this is what I was alluding to before with how many times the cops have been there, is why wouldn't you have shown the cops either the first night they were there, if you knew about the footprints, which he may not have, but then the subsequent visits, because apparently he saw the footprints possibly the next day, you know, out when the sun's out, you know, you're clearly going to check the property, make sure nothing was stolen, make sure everything's there. Apparently that's when he saw the footprints. Why wouldn't you show the cops when they showed up again on that second visit, or that third visit, fourth visit, right? That's something we need to get to the bottom of. And then with the footprints themselves, is he clearly states in multiple sources, multiple interviews, that these things were on top of the house. They were on the roof. And also that they were in the excavator. But the roof is the big one. Because even though these things are 8, 9, 10 feet is what it's saying, is if this thing climb up there, get up there, well, they had to come down too. And how do you get down if you don't have a ladder? You're most likely going to hop. But even if you don't hop, he's got like a gravel backyard. As you can see here. It's really loose gravel, light gravel. Like in all the interviews, you hear him walking around. Like if you jump on that, it's leaving an impression, especially if you're 8, 9, 10 feet I mean, there's got to be a big foot impression. And that's what kept bugging me in the video I did the other day. It's like, it's 2023, you know? Like, we take pictures of everything. We like, how many junk pictures do you have on your phone? Of just like screenshots and pictures of just a nice sun. Like, we take pictures of everything. Why wouldn't you take a picture of that? That makes no sense to me. Really sus. But yeah, getting in and out of the forklift. Like, getting out of the forklift, you gotta hop down too. Like, even if it has a little bit of a step, like, I've worked on some of that stuff before. Like, there's gotta be footprints somewhere. Or maybe not footprints, but impressions, whatever have you. But yeah, at 17-minute mark in this, he clearly states it was inside the forklift. So if it's inside the forklift, I don't know about you, but you don't leave your doors open on stuff. So that means this thing had to open the door. That means it had to have its hand or something on the handle to open the door and then to get back out. But if it's in the cab, that's one thing we need to check out too, is what's the model of this thing? Like, how much cab room is in there? Is this thing really going to fit in there? But samples of, like, dusting everything down for fingerprints or hair follicles, because he apparently says the things had eyebrows or something, or skin flakes or skin, like, something. But, and that's, like, why wouldn't you let the other investigator or journalists know so they can, like, they'd probably have, like, that Doug guy, he probably has sources of, like, someone that could come out there and take a sample or do, really look into that. But the other people we should look into is MUFON, which we're going to get into in a couple questions. But yeah, like, that's what these people specify in. At the 18-minute mark or around there, he's talking about the news and the social media. And what's frustrating with that is, if the news channels are burning this kid, doing him wrong by not respecting his wishes, this is going to make it really difficult for follow-up. So that's why it's really important to just, you know, give the kid some time, but also be respectful and, you know, not plead with the kid, but, you know, when you see people coming at him in a negative or vitriolic way, to tell them to knock that crap off, because, like, there's a lot of questions we need answered, and there's still some more. But something he was saying with the social media, not just about social media, with his phones, was afterwards, whether it was that night or the next day, apparently he's gone through a couple phones now. A couple of the family members have gone through multiple phones. Like, what? Is that the government messing with you? Or is it something that was there that messed with the phones? But, like, he seems really calm when he talks about it, though. And I don't know about you, but if I just have phones that just stop working, I'm going to be pissed, you know? Going through phones like that. Especially with, like, the phone insurance stuff. Like, it's all that nonsense now. It's BS. Like, I would be fuming. So, it's odd how he didn't seem more worked up about that. Then the next thing is, at the 27-minute marks around there, he talks about making a sketch, and a lot of nice people are offering their services to, like, help. So yeah, sketch would really help. The 29-minute mark touches on the footprints again. 30-minute mark about MUFON, but unfortunately, because of their bad Wi-Fi connection, that I don't think the kid heard it, or he didn't understand it, or he didn't really comprehend it. Then there's a bunch of other questions in there, unfortunately, like some repeats and some that kind of beat around the bush, or some that aren't really important, like, what state do you live in? You know, Nevada. It's like, well, we know that, you know, like, what state do you live in? Nevada. It must be nice to live in Nevada. What state do I live in? Constant anxiety. Anyways, But yes, the main things to touch there are the cops' responses to these things. Whether it was the first, second, third, or fourth visit with the cops, did the cops, that night inform the neighbors? Like, that's something that really stands out to me is if you do have cops respond to your house saying that you have a burglar or a trespasser, they're going to search the property. If you have immediate neighbors in the vicinity, wouldn't the cops alert those neighbors, let them know, inform them, like, hey, lock your door? Because you even have footage of the other cop that night going out to the street and letting cars that are going by know, like asking questions. So why wouldn't they? Did they? Maybe they did. But then we're going to touch back on this in a little bit. After the cops leave, something happens. So the neighbors, like, there's got to be more here with the neighbors. So then, did he show the cops the footprints? Did he show the cops the scribbles? Did he show the cops the excrement? So, what we were just alluding to was, in this video or in this video, I think it's in this video, he clearly states that after the cops leave, he hears screaming or something. So that means the cops search the property, hopefully thoroughly. Cops leave, then he hears something. Did he hear it? Like, was he for certain it was in the backyard? Was it one of the neighbors' properties? But that's why we need to find out with the neighbors, because, like, who else heard that? What was it? But if these things were still there, how is that possible? Because I don't know about you, but, like, if you're the cops and you see that circle, like, clearly you're probably going to, like, walk through that circle, walk from one side of it to the other. You're not going to walk just around it. So if you walk through it, then clearly it's not like something invisible there or something. If the ship or whatever is gone, and these things are still there, like, that's, I don't know, a lot of things funky about it, but that's something we need to look into. We need to figure that out. But yeah, the whole point of this is so we're better informed. So we know what's fake, what's real. We know, what people are not getting all the facts and doing goofy stuff, like saying they have cow heads, like their heads are like cow skulls, when it's like the kid clearly says they kind of humanish resemblance. He kind of kid says that they kind of not transformed, but like shadowy. It's weird. You have to watch all the stuff for all the details. This is just a touch on some of the things that should stand out, or maybe raise some eyebrows, or we need to look more into. But again, be respectful. Criticize, but be constructive with it. Hopefully we can get to the bottom of this. Hopefully this helps. Because, yeah, like, these are straight from the horse's mouth. And look at this. Only 2,000 views 7 days ago. 6,000 views 7 days ago. And then you got these grifters that are putting really fake stuff out there. Stuff just regurgitated. And it doesn't even have a lot of stuff or context from these. Or from this. Or his other videos with them. And they have millions of views. So it's just like all these people are getting misinformed or getting led astray. It's frustrating. It's just getting messy, It's getting messier than Amber Heard's bed sheet. It's just... So, yeah, hopefully this helps you out. Apparently, you're not able to share links in the YouTube comments. So either just share the video header or title. Hopefully that helps people out. And yeah, hopefully we can all get better informed of this and get to the bottom of it. So, anyways, hopefully I didn't forget anything, and I'll try and keep staying on top of this, and hopefully you guys do too. Hopefully, better news companies and better journalists, like MUFON people, I guess, or like I'd prefer like TimCast, like Tim Pool and his organization or group of people would get out here and get on this. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But we'll stay on top of it. Clear skies.